Hi everyone, and welcome to another tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make the No Home bracelet, and this was designed by Loom_BFFs12 on Instagram, and I will make sure to have their name in the description box below, and I'll bring up their profile here on Instagram as well. But first I wanted to just show you both sides of this bracelet. So I think this is the signature side, and then you can switch this around to the back side here. So this is a really nice bracelet. And the name No Home is because most of the bands, especially in the center, do not actually go back to their home pins, which gives a really nice look. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up their profile here on Instagram. So it is Loom_BFFs12. And sorry about my voice, I am a little bit sick. I think I said this in my previous tutorials that I have already uploaded, but I've had a cold for a couple days, and I'm very slowly getting better. So anyway, this is their profile here. They have some pretty nice outdoor edits and a lot of nice bracelets. So I'm not sure how long ago they created their account. Oops. But this is what it looks like. So yeah, would definitely recommend giving them a or checking them out and giving them a follow for me. And I'll make sure to have their name in the description box below as well. But this is what the bracelet looks like, and it's a really nice design. So we're going to go ahead and get started. To start, you're going to want to have your 7 pins. If you want to make a full wrap, you'll want 2 entire looms or 2 full looms, like 2 full looms long. This wide here, you need 3 looms or 2 pins and an extra, or 2 looms and an extra bar pin, sorry. And you're going to want to start with the arrows pointing away from you. You're also going to want a hook, a C-clip, and some bands. You can use as many colors as you like. I'm only using 3 today though, so let's go ahead and start placing some bands. So for the border, I used the neon green medieval. Today I am using teal. So you're going to start on the center, and you're going to go up and to the left, and then up and to the right, and then you're just going to trace that to the outside. So you're going to go back down, and then back up, so just kind of in a zigzag, again down, and back up. And then what you're going to do from here is we're going to continue the zigzag. So go in and then back out, in and back out. So go ahead and do this all the way down the loom, and I'll show you on the right side here. Same thing, so just go in and then back out, in and then back out. So I'm going to continue doing this all the way down the loom, and you can follow along or skip ahead or pause. I'm not going to cut off the camera because that takes like 2 days to edit, but I'm just going to continue doing this down the rest of my loom, and then I will show you what to do when you get there and like how to close it off. So once you get to the top, you're going to want to have your loom looking something like this. You're going to go up into the top here, and then to close it off, you're going to mirror what we did at the bottom. So go down in a zigzag, and then back up again into the very top center peg, just like this. So once you have your loom looking something like this, you're going to go ahead and come back to the beginning of your loom. Next thing we're going to be doing is placing these fuchsia bands here, not the center ones, just these ones on the sides. And for that I'm going to be using Electric Glow Blue. So what you're going to do is, starting on the second pin, second peg up, you're going to do a short stretch band, just like so. You're going to kind of make it parallel with this border here. And then from this third pin, first peg, you're going to do a long stretch up to the second pin, third peg. So just like that, you're going to create kind of a plus sign, and then from where you stopped here, you're going to go horizontally across, again making it parallel with these, and then do another long stretch, short stretch across, then another long stretch. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Make sure that it is mirrored though, so you're going to start on the sixth pin, second peg up, and go into the center, and then from the fifth peg, fifth pin, first peg, sorry, you're going to go up to there, and then just cross it again, like this. So this is what you're going to do all the way down until you reach the end of your loom. And I'm going to do the same thing on both sides as I go down, and then I will show you what to do once you get to the end, and then what to do after this step. So up at the top you're going to finish like this. I still have to do the rest of my right side, but I just thought I would show you what the top looks like. It's going to just be a complete plus sign all the way up. Okay. So once you have something like this, what you're going to go ahead and do is make sure that your loom looks like mine, and then you're going to come back to the beginning of your loom, and we're now going to be placing these neon green bands here in the center, and we're pretty much doing the exact same thing as we did, ow, I just hit the window, with the electric blue here, and I'm using electric purple for this step. And what you're going to be doing is starting on this third pin here, and you're going to do a short stretch into the center on your left hand side or on your right hand side, whichever one you want to start with. But you will want to make sure that you do the long stretch here, and then the short stretch here, and the long stretch here. So you're going to do the same thing as you did with the blue here, but what you want to do is do an entire side first and then come back and do the other side. That's just kind of how I was taught, so that's how I'm going to teach it. And you're just going to do this all the way up the left or the right side. It doesn't matter which one you place first, as long as you just continue with the same side all the way down. And once I finish this on the left side here, which I am getting there, I'll show you how to do it on the right side. So once you get to the end, it should just end like this, and kind of in the same position as your blue ones did. That's just what it's going to look like at the end here. So once you're finished with that, go ahead and do the same thing on this side. So you're going to go up into the center, and then a long stretch, up into the center, short stretch, and then a long stretch. So you're just mirroring what you did on the left side here, on your right side, and you're going to do this all the way down till you reach the end of the loom. Then we have one last step, before we start looping. Oops. Also, make sure you are pushing your bands down as you go. I know I haven't been saying that, but it actually really helps if you push your bands down. Okay, so once you have finished, you should end up with something like this, and then we're going to go ahead and come back to the beginning of your loom. We're going to place our last chain, which is this fuchsia chain, in the center. I am actually going to be using teal rather than the fuchsia, which is matching up out here. So if that corresponded in this bracelet, I would be using the electric blue, but I'm actually just going to use the teal, which is my border color. So it's a very simple single chain, just straight down the center. And you're going to do this all the way down till you reach the end of your loom, and then we are going to go ahead, place our cap ends, and start looping. Okay, so I have finished placing my single chain all the way down to the end here, and what you're going to go ahead and do is turn your loom around so that the arrows are pointing towards you, and we have 3 cap bands to place, so go ahead and get 3 bands, and you're going to place your first one here. You can do a triple cap or a regular cap band. Usually with wider bracelets I like to attach multiple C-clips, which I haven't done in this bracelet yet, but today I'm just going to be making some triple caps. So your first band, you're going to go ahead and triple cap it. You're going to place it on this peg here. So on your blue plus signs, and do the same thing on the other side. I like to stretch my cap ends out a little bit. Okay, so triple cap there. And then on the center I just like to do a regular cap end. So once you have that, we can go ahead and start looping, so get your hook. And first thing we're going to do is just simply loop up this single chain. So go underneath of your cap band and grab that top band and just loop it back to itself. And it should just be the top band, so continue doing this all the way down till you reach the end of the loom. And also make sure that you are not grabbing any bands underneath, because you want to keep those all the same. Like all, I guess, on their pins. I don't know how to explain it, just don't touch them, I guess. Once you are done that, you can go ahead and push down your single chain if you like. It doesn't really, you don't really have to push it down, but you can if you want. And you're going to come back to the beginning of your loom. And next thing we're going to be doing is looping these purple bands here. So what you're going to do is go underneath of this second peg here. You're going to grab your short stretch band, and you're going to loop it 1 peg down. So loop it down to its this next peg here. You're not going to loop it to its home peg. And then you're going to go back underneath of this peg, and you're going to grab your other band, and just loop that down to this peg as well. And then when you go up to this pin here, the top band is going to be a long stretch band. So what you're going to do is go underneath of here and grab this band, and instead of looping it all the way down to itself, you're going to loop it up to this peg. So where your next short stretch band goes out to, you're going to loop the long stretch band up to there. And then when you grab your next band, it's going to be your short stretch band, and you're going to again loop that down to this peg here. Try not to get your bands super twisted. It's easier to untwist them on the loop. And then you're going to take your long stretch band and go up into the outside. Then grab your short stretch band and go down to the outside. Then you're going to go up to the next pin. You're going to grab your purple, go up to the outside, and then you're going to grab your short stretch band down to the outside. Again, your long stretch band up to the outside, and your short stretch band down to the outside. So this is the process all the way down the loom. I'm going to go ahead and do this down the rest of my loom, and then we will continue looping the next bands. And if you still need instructions, you can always rewind the video and replay them. Okay, so once you have finished doing out all of that, you want to make sure that at the top you don't forget to loop these bands. But what you're going to do is just loop them to this peg next to it rather than up to this non-existent peg here. You're just going to loop those last long stretch bands over to here. And then you're going to push those bands down a little bit if you want, and then come back to the beginning of your loom. And next we're going to be looping these blue bands here. And what you want to do is you're going to grab these short stretch bands first, and then you're going to, so I'm going to tip this up, go underneath of this purple, you're going to grab the short stretch band, and instead of pulling it to its home peg, you're going to pull it to this peg right above its home. So, longer stretch here, I'm going to pull it not to this peg, but to the peg above it. This band just got really twisted, but oh well, I guess. I'm going to try and untwist it actually. It's not going to come untwisted. I hate when that happens to my bands. But anyway, I'm going to redo that. And now I just got this purple band really twisted, but whatever. I can't do everything. So I guess we'll just do that. Sorry for the wait there. You're going to go underneath of this triple cap band for your long stretch band, and you're just going to pull it, rather than pulling it all the way over to itself, you're just going to simply pull it straight forward. So straight forward to that peg above the cap band. Then you're going to go back over here, grab that bottom blue band, and pull it not to itself but to that peg above it. And then going inside of here, you're going to grab this long stretch band and pull it straight forward. Again, this blue band up to the peg above its home, and then the long stretch band goes just simply straight forward. And you're going to do the same thing on the right side. So going underneath of these two purple bands, or a couple purple bands, you're going to grab the blue, pull it to the peg above its home, go underneath of the triple cap here, and you're going to grab this blue band and just simply pull it straight forward. Again, this blue band up to the one above its home, and then the long stretch band straight forward. So go ahead and do this all the way down until you reach the end of the loom, and make sure you do this on both sides. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of mine all the way down, and then I will show you what it looks like at the end and show you how to do the next couple steps to finish off this bracelet. Okay, so once you have looped all of your bands, your last short stretch band should be up here at the top, and then your last long stretch bands are going to end one peg underneath of that. And then you're going to want to push down all of these blue bands here and come back to the beginning of your loom. Last thing we have to do is loop the border, so you're going to want to push down all of those bands to make room for that. Go underneath of your cap band, grab the teal band, and just simply pull it out to itself. Go back in, grab the next teal band and pull that out to itself. And then just go all the way to the bottom and pull these bands to themselves. And then underneath of this triple cap, pulling this band out to itself. Underneath of this triple cap, pull that band out to itself. And now you're just going to simply loop the zigzags. So, going into here, just pull that to itself, pull that back to itself, and you're just going to simply pull these bands to themselves like you would a single chain on the loom. If you do the zigzags for a single chain on the loom. And if you've ever done a zigzag in a bracelet before, this should be fairly easy. Once you get up to the top, you're going to pull this up into itself, then down, and then lastly back up into the top center. And I'm going to go ahead and take off this top peg here and these bands on the sides as well, just so that when I'm taking this off, these don't get snagged and then possibly break, which would be very, very bad. So I'm going to go ahead and take these off, and I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to do this side. And then I will show you how to safely take this off because it is a fairly tight design. Okay, so I have looped all of that. I'm going to go ahead and take all these bands off. This one. And then I'm going to grab an extension band here. I'm going to just use teal. Pull this through. And attach both ends. And you might want to actually pull this off from the bottom, but if I pulled mine off from the bottom, it would probably take too long. So I'm going to go ahead and pull mine off from the top. But an easy way to take this off is to pull the bands on the border here, and it should pull those bands a little bit easier. And then for these purple bands, if you're having trouble taking them off, just grab all that whole chunk in between, and it should come off. And then the more that you take off, the easier it is to pull the rest of your bands off. And then the center chain should just come off real easily. Okay, so once you have pulled this off, it might look a little bit jumbled or messy, but you just kind of pull on it and untwist the bands and it will look great. So anyway, this is what it looks like, and the blue and the purple don't really show much difference, but it is a really nice design. So anyway, I'm going to untwist this all off camera, but that's going to do it for this tutorial. So thank you for watching. Make sure to give a thumbs up and subscribe. I will have Loom BFF's 12's name in the description box below, so make sure to check them out and give them a follow on Instagram, and that's all I'm going to have for this video, so I hope to see you next time.